is Scott with the Scottman. We're here to do a drive video today. We're doing another video here on I-65 going north from Highway 9002 or 9002 or the Bluegrass Parkway, and we'll be heading all the way to the north to I-71 up in Louisville. So I just got done filming 2 different drive videos on I-65 today, or earlier today, with the most recent one being down in the Nashville area. And unlike that video where I was seeing some rain showers, it's perfectly sunny here. So anyway, we start out the video over by the Bluegrass Parkway over here in Elizabethtown, which is like the next bigger city to the south of Louisville. And we'll be heading into Louisville today. So we got quite a bit of a ways to go in this video. So yeah, a little fun fact, so because I started the video right where the exit is for the Bluegrass Parkway, that would take you over to Lexington. If you want to go over to the, I almost was gonna say the state capital, but that's in Frankfort, which is west of Lexington. But Lexington is a pretty large city to the east of here. Anyway, so yeah, the weather is absolutely beautiful out today. It's right around 51 degrees Fahrenheit, so kind of like around like 10 degrees Celsius. So not too bad of a day out today. And looking at the weather, it should be very pleasant the rest of the way, although as I continue north, it is going to get colder. Maybe not necessarily in this video, but as I keep driving home to Michigan. So yeah, this part of I-65 here is it's a pretty drive, I would say, because we got some rolling hills, especially in this area the next several miles or so, with even some rocky cliffs. We're not seeing that much of it just yet, but yeah, we're just about to here. And then of course later in the video we'll be seeing some great views of the skyline of Louisville. Which, yeah, I need to get back down to, or back over to Louisville at some point, because I've only done one little quick video, and that was only because I was spending the night there. This was like 5 years ago. And I only had time to explore for like 1 or 2 hours. I always need to make it like a little weekend trip out of it. But yeah, this stretch here, like route between just a minute ago to the next several miles, is like the prettiest stretch of I-65 in Kentucky. But one thing that's really cool about I-65 in the state of Kentucky is that it is almost entirely 3 lanes in each direction. And from what I've seen too, like the freeway's been very highly maintained. And I think they've done the same thing over on I-75 further east in the state. So I remember driving down to eastern Tennessee, like to go like to the Gatlinburg area a few years ago, and I took I-75 down. And I remember it was 3 lanes in each direction going that way too. Because yeah, when you look at it, I-65 and I-75 are 2 heavily traveled freeways in the state of Kentucky. Because I-65 north goes, of course, not to Louisville, but continues north toward Indianapolis, and then eventually up to, well, technically Gary, Indiana, in that area. But it's like the eastern part of the Chicago area. And going the other way will take you down to Nashville, and then eventually down to Alabama, going to just west of Huntsville, and then to Birmingham, Montgomery, and Mobile. course, Sarasota, Naples, and then cuts over to the Everglades or toward the Miami area. And then I-75 north, of course, goes to Cincinnati, up toward Toledo, Ohio, then to Detroit, Michigan, and then it ends up at the Mackinac Bridge, going over to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan before crossing over to Canada in Sault Ste. Marie. So as you can tell, both freeways are very heavily traveled. So yeah, generally with the interstate system in the United States, the freeways which have interstates ending, the two-digit interstates which end in either a 5 or a 0 are considered major routes because they tend to go across country for the most part, and they cover major metropolitan areas. Like I mentioned about that for about I-65 and I-75, for example. I-95, of course, goes along the East Coast, going from Miami all the way up to the state of Maine, covering all the big cities like New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. No, those cities are Interstate 5 on the West Coast, going through San Diego, Los Angeles, Sacramento, Portland, and Seattle. Although, like the outlier in that bunch would be I-45 in Texas, because it only goes from like Galveston, Texas, through Houston up to Dallas. It does not continue north up toward Oklahoma. And of course, then the same goes with the other interstates going end in a 0, which go east and west, with of course I-90, I-80, 70. There is no I-60 or I-50. But yeah, so I'd say we just got out of a very pretty area of the stretch of freeway that we're driving on. But yeah, what do you think of it? It's like I'm filming a lot of driving videos today just because the weather is really nice, with the exception of the video I filmed back down in the Nashville area. And of course, with the sun being away from the direction we're driving in, it's providing some great opportunities to do some driving videos. Because after this, I'm planning to do for sure 1, maybe even 2 more driving videos after this. So it's like I could end up filming 5 of these today. Which in that case, I'm glad I charged up all of my GoPro batteries. So I already had to move to a second battery after filming 2 videos already. One in Alabama, one in Tennessee. Although it looks like we're seeing some more hills over here. Yeah, I like the shapes of the hills over there. It's like they're not wide by any chance. It's like they're pretty narrow. So with that, it's like they're steep hills, and then it's like they go up pretty quickly and then go right back down. They almost look like little mounds, but much larger. As I was saying in one of my previous driving videos, yeah, I'm just coming back up from Alabama. I spent a good week and a half or so in Alabama. I also got to go a little bit into Mississippi as well, and then even do a day trip to New Orleans in Louisiana. But yeah, I will say I had some great weather when I went. And it was really nice to get away from the cold Michigan winter, although with the exception of like the first couple days or so, it has gotten warmer back at home. Oh yeah, this is going to be a long video because we have 31 miles to go till we get to Louisville, and it's like we just started the video like 10 minutes ago. So I hope you guys are ready for a long one today. So because of this longer than normal video, we'll be seeing a lot of varying terrain. Like, of course, we got the rolling hills and, of course, the Kentucky countryside, but we'll eventually be getting to the suburbs of Louisville before we get into the city itself. So yeah, with the end of a great trip like this one, I'm currently trying to plan out what I want to do coming up. Because I would like to travel even more than I have in previous years, but I'm still trying to iron out the details. Because let's just say, last year I did a similar trip like this one, where for 2 weeks I went to to Houston, Texas instead of Alabama. And then other than doing some things around Michigan, I never really did any big travels until April. Which I'm not sure why I did that. Because I could easily go off and do different things in February and March. So I am going to try to change that this year to where I go off and do different things in February and March, so that way I'm not just stuck at home or something like that. And 2020 was understandable because it was back during the pandemic, but 2022, there was not really an excuse on my part. Maybe it was just laziness, I don't know. I did get sick in late January 2022, but again, it's like when it comes to illnesses, I'm usually all better within a week. Although in the case of the cold I had in late November, it was gone in like 3 days, which is unusual for any type of respiratory infection. But hey, if you're only sick for a couple days, it's better than being sick for a week. So it's like, can't complain about that one. But yeah, it's like, thinking about the driving videos I'm filming today, it's like, I don't even know when this one's even going to be going up, because there's still a few of them that I filmed back in Michigan that I still have to upload first. So it's like, the funny thing is I could be having driving videos going into March by the time this day is done. And then there was a point in time, I think after my trip to Serbia and Italy back in October, where I don't want to say I was struggling, but I was trying to, it's like I was running short on driving videos where I had to go out and try to film a bunch of them. Within a short period of time. Thankfully, the little day trip I did to Dowagiac, Michigan and New Buffalo, Michigan really helped, because I was able to film 3 driving videos in that same day. This out too with the weather. It's like, because there was a pretty bad snowstorm that went through a lot of the country right before Christmas, leading up to Christmas. Areas as far south as Nashville had snow on the ground. And when I was driving down to Alabama 2 days after Christmas, there was snow on the ground here. And I was seeing patches of snow as far south as the Nashville metropolitan area. That won't be the case today, because there is no snow on the ground here, and all the snow melted in southeast Michigan too, so I will not be seeing any snow today. snowflakes falling from the sky. But it's like, yeah, it's like when you get some time off from work after the holidays, it's like you gotta take advantage of it and head south where it's a lot warmer. Because yeah, it's like it can be a pain in the rear to have to put on a bunch of layers, like a bunch of jackets and coats and things like that to go outside. Where down south, you may just have to either wear a long sleeve shirt or maybe put on like a fleece or a light jacket. But of course, the south can get cold spells too. Just like I think even got below freezing around Christmas as far south as Mobile, Alabama. So yes, it can snow in Alabama and Mississippi. Thankfully, not during my trip. So I'm thinking we got 20 miles to go until we get into downtown Louisville. So we're definitely making some good progress. Trip I've done, well, big road trip since a year ago when I came back from Texas, although I had done back in 2022 after that trip, I think I had done a total of, when it comes to like overnight trips, a total of 3 smaller road trips. Like I did one to Pittsburgh, one to Chicago, and then a really small one to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids is only a couple hours away from Detroit, which for Grand Rapids, Michigan, I could easily do that as a day trip, but I wanted to spend a lot of time out there, so I made it a weekend trip out of it. routes around Louisville and not taking me into downtown. So my GPS is going to be going crazy in about maybe 8 to 9 minutes from now. That's alright though. Yeah, I don't think what we were seeing just a couple miles or so ago was considered the suburbs. At least I don't think so. So yeah, in theory, there are two ways which I can go back to Michigan from I-65 here. The first option, of course, is to take I-71 northeast, basically running parallel with the Ohio River, going all the way to I-75 near to the south of Covington, Kentucky, which of course cross over the Ohio River and enter Cincinnati. That's the way I'm going to end up going. Or I can take a slightly longer route and continue north on I-65, go into Indiana, go up to Indianapolis, and then get on I-69 and go northeast toward Fort Wayne. Go that way. Although I definitely don't want to do that idea or that option, just because you do go over a toll bridge over the Ohio River. Because they did, I don't know how long ago they did it. I think it was like several years ago. They constructed a brand new bridge for I-65 going across the Ohio River, and they made it a toll bridge. And then to go over the bridge, it's a cashless toll. So basically, you either have to have an easy pass, which is a troll transponder, or then you get billed to your easy account. Or the Easy Pass account, excuse me. Or you just get a bill in the mail. Okay, 12 miles to Louisville, so we're getting closer. I-65, I think that's when we're starting to... Okay. Oh, there's actually a sign for it, which is really cool. We're now in the Louisville metro area. So now, from here on out, we're in the metropolitan area. So this is now where I can safely say that this would be the suburbs. Sign was saying major road construction on I-64. Thankfully, we won't be driving on I-64 today. So yeah, we're basically coming up to I-265, which does like a 3/4 of a loop around Louisville. Which, yeah, in the state of, because it goes also into the state of Indiana a little bit too. In Kentucky, it's considered the Gene Snyder freeway. So you can take I-265 and go and take the long way around Louisville, and that you can go up to I-71 that way too. Keep in mind, if you go west, that's not I-265 anymore. It's just Highway 841, and it does not go all the way around to through the west part of the metro area. So be warned. And then I-265 continues across the Ohio River into Indiana, because there's a part of the Louisville metro area that goes into the southern part of Indiana as well. The bridge for I-265 is also a toll bridge, because that extension of I-265 is newer. Because that was constructed only several years ago, I believe. And then it continues its way over to I-64 to the west of Louisville. One thing to know is that the bridge for I-64 going over the Ohio River, that is free. So that is one way you can get over to Indiana without having to pay a toll. The other is getting off the freeway going into downtown Louisville and then taking, I think, Highway 31 across the Ohio River. That looks like a big Amazon center over to the right. At least I think it is. The reason why I think it is because I'm seeing the colors that are typically associated with Amazon. But I could be wrong. And it's like over that billboard over there, it's like, you know, when you're starting to get into the Midwest when you see signs for Menards. Which Menards is a big home improvement retail outlet, kind of like Home Depot and Lowe's, but it's more heavily centered in the Midwest.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 131A for I-264 East.
No. So now we're about to come over by the international airport for Louisville. So if you're flying into Louisville, Kentucky, especially true if you're coming into the area for the Kentucky Derby, which is held every May over at Churchill Downs, you can fly into the airport over here. And about another mile, we come to I-264, which is another another loop around Louisville, but not completely. Does not loop completely around though. But I-264 does go west and then north up to I-64. So that is a shortcut if you want to get over to I-64 without having to go into downtown Louisville. And also you can get to the airport from I-264 going west. And then going I-264 west.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 131A for I-264 East.
I think 1 or 2 exits to the west of I-65. You can also get over to the Kentucky Derby Museum, and also it's a way to get over to Churchill Downs. And if you take I-264 going east and then north, that'll take you around
use
Louisville.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 131A.
And then you can basically go up to either I-64 or it ends at I-71. So I could theoretically go that way too, but I'm going to keep going this way.
In half a mile, keep right at the fork. Follow signs for I-264 East Watterson Expressway.
It's like the funny thing is still okay. Now it realizes where I am. So we got like another 5.5 miles to go until we get to the end of the video. I can't believe Google is going to have me go I-264 because it's like, look at the slow traffic heading over to I-264 east or north. Oh, no, it'd be east, excuse me. So I think I made the right choice. To the left, yeah, I think you can even see Churchill Downs a little bit. But for sure, I think more immediate to the left, well, more immediate to the left, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I know you can see the football stadium for the University of Louisville, where the Cardinals football team play. The Louisville Cardinals for college football, not the pros. Like, the professional team that's called the Cardinals, that's out of Arizona. So it's like, yeah, don't get the Louisville Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals confused, because they're college football and the NFL respectively. See Churchill Downs from the freeway. No, so I think Churchill Downs is too far away from the. It might be too far away from the freeway, because that stadium we were seeing over there, that's Cardinal Stadium for the where the University of Louisville football team plays. So yeah, that's the football stadium over there. We're about to see the skyline for Louisville off in the distance. It looks kind of small still, but it'll look a lot larger momentarily. But Louisville is a really cool city, though, because again, I've only got to see a little bit of it. That one time 5 years ago, but I would love to come back to explore more of it. I just remember really enjoying the downtown area, and there's you also walk along the Ohio River too, which you could do the same thing over in Cincinnati to the northeast of here. So yeah, I just got to pay attention for the exit for I-71 east.
In 2 miles, take exit 137 toward I-71 north.
But yeah, this has been a very enjoyable drive, especially with the sun being out. Yeah, I'm planning to film another video on I-71 coming up, but like the second half of I-71 in the state of Kentucky, going up to I-75. That's gonna be the next driving video I'm planning to film. And there is the skyline of Louisville. Looks very, very beautiful. Major road work, I-64 west at mile 1. No, thank you. I'm not going that way. Although I may not have a choice, I was going to Evansville. Okay, so this is where you got to pay attention if you're trying to get to I-71 going east. Otherwise, you may end up in a situation where you're going to have to go over a toll bridge. And then, yeah, the KFC Yum Center, which is in downtown Louisville, that's where the Louisville Cardinals basketball teams play for men's, I think, and the women's team too. But yeah, Louisville is a beautiful city. So I gotta get ready to take this right fork to get off the.
In half a mile, take exit 137 toward I-71 north.
The main part of the freeway here. Okay, so yeah, so I gotta take this right fork for I-71 north and I-64.
Take exit 137, then keep left at the fork.
But we'll keep going to the actual exit for I-71 north. I was saying I-71 east earlier, but technically it's north. Alright, so we're approaching the exit for I-71 north. So I hope you enjoyed this video.
Keep left at the fork.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I-65 north going from Highway 9002 or the Bluegrass Parkway going all the way up to I-71 north here in Louisville. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thanks for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scott Man, signing out here from
Keep left at the fork.
Signing out here from Louisville, Kentucky.